Hey, Roadrunners, welcome back to Live Medallion. We had a week off. I took a week off. I already did my grades for the first 3 games of the season. Didn't feel like necessary to do the 4 games, whatever. Take grades every 3 games, right? So we're entering this game 1-4. 1-3, sorry, 1-3. This will be our 5th game. So we're 4 games, we're 1-3. Expected loss to Tennessee. Shouldn't surprise anybody we lost to Tennessee. It shouldn't surprise anybody. The way we lost to Houston should surprise people because we had that game. The way we lost to Army should bring warning bells, alarm bells, whatever you want. I'm just going to say it. Here's the problem. Before I get into the actual game, let's talk about why the Army game is such an issue, right? So we've played Army a sum total of 4 times. We're 1-3 against them, right? Every season we've played them, when we won 12 games. When we lost, our best season was 7 wins. Our worst season was 4 wins. Obviously, the 4 wins were with Frank Wilson. We were a bad football team. Coach Shirley came in. We lost Army. That season at 7-5 with Army, the nuance of that was we played Army later in the season, and we'd already racked up probably 4 wins. I think 4 wins. So it kind of made us like 4-3 at the time. So we still had some momentum. It really didn't like mess up our rhythm any way, shape, or form. We were coming off a losing season, so it's a different feel. It's a different atmosphere, right? We weren't back-to-back conference champions. The issue is Temple is not a good football team, right? But is Army? The issues we had against Army can rear their ugly head against Temple, and that could be a loss. That's what has me a little concerned. We have to see this football team to get 7 wins is going to have to win literally 6 of their next 8 football games. And as a fan, I want you to comment. Tell me, pick out the 2 losses. The only 2 losses, pick them out. Then pick out like the 50-50 games. You're going to see the possibility of looking at Tulane. Who else? Maybe Rice if JT Daniels comes back. Rice took it to Houston. Rice with JT Daniels is a good football team. JT Daniels. Yeah, whatever. The guy that bounced around, started at Georgia, went somewhere else, went to Washington, West Virginia, then transferred to Rice. That guy, JT something. Anyway, doesn't really matter. But he got knocked out and they lost their last game. So we're going to see if they are any, and I'm sorry my thing is moving up and down. It's kind of driving me nuts. I don't know why it's doing that. Maybe maybe that'll help a little. Yeah, it moves a little slower now. So I don't know what's going on, why it's picking it up so much. But that's okay. We'll get past that. You can deal with it. Anyway, look at our schedule. It's easy to say of the next 8 games that 3 wins only is a high possibility, even with Frank. Even with DeCorian, JT Clark coming back. It's a good probability that's happening. So that's the concern that everybody has, right? It's not that you lost Army. It's the way you lost Army. That the alarm bells are going off because those things, the reason why we lost Army, I personally don't think Frank in the game changes the game one bit. That's part of the problem. Okay? So now let's talk about Temple. Temple has 2 wins on the season. They've beaten Akron and Norfolk State. So they haven't really beaten anybody. They're averaging 355 yards a game. That kind of happens when you have a team that's not very good. 260 yards passing, 94 yards rushing. Now, they've actually had an easier schedule than UTSA has. They absolutely have, right? They've had an FCS opponent for one, and that helps. Allowed, passing yards allowed, 195. We've allowed 210. Rushing yards allowed, they've allowed 214. They've allowed 172. So it comes down to one thing and one thing only. Well, two things. Tackling and run blocking and getting the run game going. We've got to get the run game going. Now, I know we have a lineman that's been injured, one of our starting linemen that's been injured. But the rest of the line should be able to step up and give us better blocking. That's just what I think. That's just me. I feel like maybe the team's a little tired. You got to think the way we've won games. Go back to 2020. The way we won games in 2020. The way we won games in 2021. Especially 2022. We shouldn't have been close against FIU. We shouldn't have been close against Middle Tennessee State. Yet we were. Now, I talked about other teams bringing it, right? And they did bring it against us. That's absolutely no doubt. So I kind of understand that because they overcame, they adapted, they conquered. Gunny Highway. Look that up, right? Anyway, you've got to just think that maybe the team's tired. And I'm going to go back to something Troy Aikman said. He said, as the years went on, right, and people were talking about why the Cowboys were struggling to win conference championship, NFC championship games, yada, 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 right? They get to playoffs. It kind of fizzled out in the playoffs, right? And he goes, you have to understand, we went to the Super Bowl 3 times, played in back-to-back conference NFC championship games. We've played a lot of football. And he said our bodies just kind of got tired. It kind of got harder and harder on the bodies. Maybe that's what these kids are feeling, right? It's getting to the point to where they haven't had an easy week. Think about what I'm saying. Houston wasn't easy. Texas State wasn't easy. Army wasn't easy. Tennessee definitely wasn't easy. Go back to last season. Did we have a game last season that was easy? That was an absolute laugher. Look at the final score of the games, and you might say, yeah, some were. Texas Southern wasn't. Clearly it wasn't. We had Frank in there until the 4th quarter. So that means it wasn't an easy game. So all that stuff adds up. Now, do I think the Roadrunners are going to win this game? Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. If the Roadrunners lose this game, oh, we're in super trouble for the season. We're in super duper, uber duper trouble for the season. You're looking at a 1-win season. You're looking at a team that if we lose this game, this could be a 1-win season. Now, thank God we beat Texas State, but it could be a 1-win season. That possibility is there based on this game coming up. They're going to have to bring it. They're going to have to understand. They're playing a team. Here's the thing. They're playing a team in Temple that literally is used to playing Big Ten teams, SEC teams. Like they do every year. We've struggled to get that kind of competition on our schedule, right? We have. They haven't. Simply they've been around longer, right? They play multiple big teams, at least multiple every year, if I'm not mistaken. Big name, brand names, right? So you got to look at it that way. But I still think they pull this off. I think this is a game where we kind of bring it down. If Frank plays, we still close it down. He does use his leg to make things a little more dangerous for the defense. And just by him being there, the defense is going to play different. We never really gave Eddie Lee the chance to prove he could run the ball against anybody we've played. Never. Now, Frank could ad hoc, right? He could ad lib, ad hoc, whatever. But still, with Eddie Lee, with the way our offense is, you've got to have a mobile quarterback. What do you think Will Stein has at Oregon in Bo Nix? Straight up a mobile quarterback. Nebraska, Barry Lunney, they have a mobile quarterback. That's our offense. You've got to have a mobile quarterback, and you've got to make him mobile. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. Is I said Josh McCown. Is Owen McCown mobile? Doesn't look like it to me. They didn't let him run. There was nothing they set up for him to run when he played. That's something that I don't know. I see that and I wonder what's going on here, right? Are you worried he's going to get hurt? Well, then if you're worried he's going to get hurt, you better do a lot more handing off and a lot more different formations to allow him to hand it off, right? Whoever the quarterback is. Now, there's another thing I wanted to talk about. I've been watching and reading some of the quotes from the coaching staff and, from some of the players. And there's two things I want to bring up, right? So Coach Traylor said, no one's talking about this team being back-to-back champions. No one's talking about this team going for their third straight conference title, except for the people in the locker room. Now, I want to look at that at two levels. One, he's saying, look, we're coaching our kids up. Our kids have belief. They believe they can do it. We have positivity that they can do it, that they've done something special. They still have a chance to do something special. That's true. Conference is still ahead. But on the flip side, and I'm glad he's doing it, but on the flip side, criticism / calling out / pointing out / just saying, that Army loss is terrible, is going to happen when you lose to Army. When you lose to Houston the way you lost to Houston. It's not hating the team. So this is a fine line with that coaching staff of pointing out to saying, hey guys, don't criticize us. It's not criticism. It's pointing out the obvious, right? It's a bad thing if we don't show up in that stadium. I'll be there, regardless of what I think. Mind you, I've said I think 3 wins is all this team has in it in conference. 3-5. Rest of the way. That puts us at 4-8, right? I'm okay with that. My conscience is clear because I buy tickets. I donate to the program. So my conscience is clear. I can still be rah, rah, rah game day. And if you sit near me, you know how I am. You know exactly how I am. So be careful there, coach, with kind of how you're doing it. I'm just going to say that. You kind of, right? Don't alienate your fans, is what I'm saying. Now, let's talk about the other thing that the coach talked about defense and tackling. Yes, that right there. That's hurting the team. That straight up is hurting the team. Hurt against Army. Definitely killed us against Army. If that gets fixed, if those fundamentals come back, then chances are we can win 5 games in conference. End up 6-6. Where we were, I'd be happy. I'm fine with that. 5-7. Not because we lost Army. I wouldn't be happy with it. If we'd beaten Army and finish up 5-7, I'm happy. Right? Army is a team you need to beat. I'm just going to leave it at that. Now, what do we have left? We have Temple and the AAC. Stranger things have happened. Maybe these kids needed the competition. Maybe they need that push. I don't know. I'm not in the locker room, right? I can only hear and read what the coach says in his press conferences. He's out there. He's our guy. Make no mistake. I can say I see the team only going 3-5 in conference, but he has my undying support, right? Oh, absolutely. He earned that season 1. I ain't gonna lie. He earned that season 1, and he and this team have set in stone, cast it in stone with season 2 and season 3, right? I've been honest on my podcast, on my YouTube channel. I felt losing to North Texas was terrible. But I also said going undefeated in conference the following year and winning conference championship a second time removed all negativity, right? But we're starting new now. We're in a new conference. We're starting new. That's all. So peace out, Roadrunners. Hopefully we get this W. I think we will. I hope it's not bad weather. I hear it might be, and that could be the worst thing that could happen to us. It could be rainy and stuff like that, and that could be the worst thing that happened to us. Simply because we're not run blocking very well. If we're run blocking good, then okay. Let me look one stat up real quick while y'all are here. Let's see. Let's see. Let me see. Advanced stats. Let's see. Temple. Let's see. Team stats. Boom. See how many sacks they got, right? I know what they're doing on defense. As far as that, I already talked about that. Let's see. Players. Receiving. Defense. Oh, let's see. Team. Boop, 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 boop. I'm almost there. Stick with me. Hit team. Team. Defense. Where you at? Down here, man. They're making this so hard to see. Oh, good Lord. Come on. It's not it. All I'm seeing is passing, rushing. Oh, my God. I guess there's no team defensive stats. I'll just try to look up how many sacks they have as a team. And I didn't want to go down to the bottom. Let's see players. I'll go back to there. Here we go. Let's go here. Let's look at sacks. They've had 6 sacks all season. That should bode well for us. That means they're not getting push. Right? Yeah, let's this should be an easy game. I said it. Should be an easy game. Peace out, Roadrunners. Tell me what you think. And as always, RR4L, Roadrunner for life, whatever. I wear the hat. I got the pins. I got the shirt. You see everything there.